Our gospel today comes from the Gospel of St. John, the 1st chapter. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify about the light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only to witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and through the world was made through him. The world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own people did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believe in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision, or of any other will, but born of God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John testified. He cried out, saying to all, "This is the one who I spoke about, the one who I said, 'He who comes after me has surpassed me, because he was before me.' Out of the fullness, we will have all received grace in place of grace already that has been given. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is of the closest relationship with the Father, who has made it known to us today." Today, as we gather together, many of us are focused on a new year, the new resolutions, the new possibilities, and the new hope that a new year can hold. Yet when we're thinking about our resolutions, many of us are focused on our failures of the past year. We think about what it is we've done wrong, what it is we would like to do, and some of our resolutions we've been doing for years on end. Yes, eating healthy, getting healthy are at the top of most everyone's list. And yet, for so many of us, when we think about our resolutions, we only go back 1 year. We think about the past year. Yet how far back should we go? How far back should we really go to understand not only how it is we should grow, but truly what Christ and God himself are calling us to be in this new year? Well, because it is the new year, we started off with the Gospel of John. In the 1st chapter, we start with the creation story. The creation story in which we are reminded that Jesus Christ himself was there at the very beginning of creation, to prepare a place for you and for me and the world around us. We are reminded of his love, his hope, his grace, and his mercy for each and every one of us. As many of us think about this, we then begin to think, how, why, and what is God calling us to do in the new year? As we think about it, many of us are still left with our own list of things. Our ideas, our hopes, our dreams. And yet, because our gospel today goes to the creation story, let's begin there. All the way back at the creation story, we have God himself bringing life, place for each and every one of us. As the years goes on, his chosen people were in the land of Egypt, and they were slaves there. For hundreds of years, they had been told what to do, how to do it, what time they should wake up in the morning, and what they need to do that day in order to go to bed that night. It gave them a purpose, and yet it wasn't of their own doing. It wasn't even of God's own doing. And so when God led them out of Egypt to a promised land, he gave them a law that would help give them purpose, give them structure into who they are and what they're going to be. it is the same law that has shaped and formed not only the Jewish people and the people of Israel, but even Christians today. Yes, I'm talking about the laws that were given to Moses, the 10 Commandments. Now, the 10 Commandments are something that many of us know about, but it's also something we should have known in our hearts and in our minds. When I look at those 10 Commandments, I'm reminded of my own life, the structure, the order, and the purpose that those 10 Commandments truly give to me. In helping me understand those 10 Commandments, I learned them this way. The first 3 have to deal with our relationship with God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. These 3, the Trinity, remind me of my relationship with God and how it is God is calling me to be in relationship with Him always. The other 7 of the 10 have to deal with the relationship with others around us. Our parents, our family, our friends, our whole community, our society around us. And it is these 10 Commandments that give us structure, it gives us a purpose, and it gives us trust so that we can know and love one another and truly be in community together. As we think about this, it also opens our hearts and our minds to the possibility of what God is calling us to still work on and to be. It is these 10 Commandments then that can give us purpose. But these 10 Commandments do not give us salvation. They do not give us the true forgiveness, hope, and restoration to be with God. No, it is in our gospel lesson today where we hear where the law was given to Moses. Grace and truth come through Jesus Christ. The grace of when we try and do those 10 Commandments and we fail miserably, and we fail to even get past the first one. We fail to do the very first of those 10 Commandments, and we find ourselves failing already. What do we do then? When Jesus Christ comes, He tells us, you are forgiven. The grace of God comes to you. Now it is this grace, this hope, that is bestowed upon us, a gift that we didn't even know about, a gift we didn't even realize we needed. And yet it was freely given to us. And the truth that set us free was that Jesus Christ was there for you and for me and for all people. That all of us were able to be a part of His table, a part of His discipleship, and truly be in His kingdom. When He gathers us together, He gathers us together as disciples, as a people, as a community of people, to be reminded that we are not to face this world alone, but that we are to face this world together, united, working together and striving for God's holy kingdom in this broken world. That we will fail. Each and every person around us at one point will cause pain and suffering. The question is, how will we react? Jesus reacts to us with grace, giving us guidance, giving us hope, and giving us an example of how it is we should treat others, giving them grace, giving them the hope to continue with one another. It's something for many of us we need to hear. It's something we need to share. And so throughout this coming week, I want you to become aware not only of the resolutions that you're working on, but the person and community that you are being called to build. The people you are called to care for. The sick, the hungry, the homeless. Those who are longing for your presence, for God's presence. To know that they are whole, to know that they are loved, and to know that they are beloved children of God. This week, may you be surrounded by God's glory and God's love and God's strength. Amen.